Endless Honeymoon podcast listeners, we love and appreciate the messages that we get every week about how much you're enjoying the podcast. And now you can return the favor. I have an album coming out this Friday. It's called Crowd Surfing, and it's an entirely improvised crowd work album with a twist, a conceptual twist I think you'll really like. It's available Friday, the 24th of January. You can go to orcd.co/crowdsurfing and you can order it. You can get it anywhere you get your music. Please get it. If only a fraction of you purchase this album, then I would have a hit on my hands. And if you would like to come to my album release party, I'll be at the San Francisco Sketchfest on Friday at the Swedish American Music Hall. And the night after that, Natasha and I will be doing a live Endless Honeymoon podcast taping that you can actually participate in. You can email us, endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com, with your relationship issue that you would need advice on, and we'll get you into the show and you'll be on the pod. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm also heading off to the DC Improv the last weekend in January, so you can get tickets to that. And Natasha and I will be at the Telluride Comedy Festival the weekend after that, Valentine's weekend. A lot of live dates are on our website coming up. We are headed all over the country, all kinds of fun places. So check our websites for tickets. Buy my album, orcd.co/crowdsurfing, orcd.co/crowdsurfing. And thank you guys. By the way, if you haven't yet, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It really, really helps.
Hey, what's happening? It's Natasha Leggero.
No, that's not how I wanted to start it.
Okay.
Okay, can I start it?
Sure.
Hey, what's happening? It's Moshe Kasher. And then you go.
And Natasha Leggero.
Okay, but let's try it again, but without the pause, okay?
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up? It's Moshe Kasher. No, you got to jump right in after that, okay? Ready?
I mean, I'm sure people are fast forwarding right now.
No way. This is behind the curtain. There's a peek behind the curtain. Okay, wait. You do Hey, what's happening? And I'll show you the...
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, everybody, it's me. See, like that. Okay, do it again.
Hey,
it's me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. I'm Moshe Kasher.
And I'm Natasha Leggero.
And we're in the middle of a fight. No, we're not. We did have a good one this week, though.
I feel like we've had a lot of fights.
This has not been our greatest week as a couple. That is true. You know that old saying, never go to bed mad? Well, there was one night this week.
Oh, we did do that.
Yeah, where I said, do you remember, what was the quote? It was something like, well, I'm definitely done talking to you. And then I went to bed.
Yeah, I kept picking fights with Moshe, and then...
Hold on, tell the story. How did it start?
I got mad because you put the baby to bed without asking me if I would maybe want to see her when I was on my way home anyway, like I always do with you.
Definitely in no way the way that it went down. Like 100% no. We were, you were on your way home?
No, I mean, in my head, that's what I thought. I knew I was going to be home around 8.
Natasha's working on a CBS sitcom, and to be fair, I'm not. And it's a lot of pressure. I get that. You know, I got my own set of pressures. You know, what it's like to be Mr. Mom, you know, sitting at
Mr.
home.
Mom plus nanny.
By the way, how pathetic is it that the society thinks so little of men that when they're dads, they're Mr. Mom? It's like, but anyway, Natasha was at work. It was a long day, and I was texting her, what time do you think you'll be home?
I didn't know.
And she said, oh, I wish I could tell you. Hopefully an hour. I don't know. I took the baby. I took her to a friend's house. We were playing with a friend, her friend Marley, the child of Brendan Walsh, very funny comedian. And we were playing around. We were having a good old time. I text her again. What time exactly do you think you'll be home? She goes, wish I knew. Then I brought the baby home. I'm playing with the baby. I'm Mr. Mom in it. Time for bed. Give her a little bath time. Put her in some pajamas. You know, she got the slippers with the curls at the end.
A sleeping cap.
A sleeping cap. She got the little butt flap with the buttons, you know, just in case she needs to poo in the night. I put her down. I read her a bunch of stories. She says, I love you, Daddy. I say, I love you, daughter. And she says, it's never like this when Mom's around. It's always better when you're here, Daddy. I prefer you as a parent, Daddy. These are the kinds of sweet things she says to me. I put the baby down. Baby's snoring. She's sawing logs. She's honk shoeing. And then I get a text from Natasha. I'm on my way. Please keep baby up.
But it was like 7:30. It wasn't that late.
No, it was 8. And I said, or maybe it was 7:40. And I said, oh, sorry. Just put her down. And then do you remember what you wrote?
Well, I was texting and driving, so I don't really want to stand behind what I wrote. I was just trying to get a statement out. I didn't get to like add punctuation.
Next time, ask.
Please. I said please.
Next time, ask, please.
Yeah, just let me know. Just like when you're gone working on and shooting something, I'm right before I put her down, I'm like, should I keep her up? Do you want to just say hi? Because her bedtime's like, between 7:30 and 8:30.
Have you ever put her down when I wasn't home and you didn't know when I was coming?
Probably not without asking you when you were coming, or if you want me to keep her up for you so you could read her a story.
But I didn't know you wanted me to
I
keep
know.
her up.
Anyway, the point is...
Next time, ask. So I wrote back, haha, I hope you're kidding. You think that was confrontational?
No.
Is this compelling? I can't tell if this is boring.
Well, I don't think you
not.
need to give every detail. I think the point to me of the story is that I woke up the next morning and was like, oh, I'm on my period. Yeah. And I can't help it, and it sucks being a woman. That's the point of this story.
It was just, I didn't know any of this, but the point was, from my perspective, it felt like there was like 4 different incidents, 3 of which we're not going to talk about, where it was like, I feel like this doesn't make sense, like that we're fighting about nothing, because Tosh came home and she was like, I can't believe you would put the baby down without calling me, and it means I think of you all the time, and clearly you never think of me. And I was like, in my mind, I'm going like, am I like a gaslighting asshole? This feels like we're fighting for nothing. And then the next day I got a text, and it's almost like a classic 1980s sitcom. Guess what? You'll be glad to know I got the old P-bone today.
I hate it because it really does sneak up on you as a woman. Like you just don't even think rationally.
You feel like you were being irrational and that it was fully hormonal.
I was just being way overly sensitive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you think it was just hormones rushing through your body.
Yes.
Right. It's so funny that you were on your period, because the whole time you were upset with me, I was thinking to myself, this broad's must be on her period. And I almost said, what's the matter? Are you on the rag? I almost said that so many times because I thought that would have kind of, brought a little bit of peace to the conversation.
On the rag is such a good one.
You think so?
I think it's so funny. I'm on the rag. I used to think that was so cool.
But
nowadays,
because it's more hippie vibes, you would say, I'm in the cup.
Gross.
Have you ever thought about a diva cup?
I don't know anyone who's done that.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you most of the alternative comedy community is on the diva cup.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
They don't use tampons?
I don't know. I think diva cup is the new next shit. It's the hot shit. You know why? Because you use the diva cup and then you plop it out and then you use it to sprinkle on your garden.
We have a tree in our yard of our baby's placenta.
Yeah.
And we planted it on her birthday, and it's grown very tall.
It might grow even taller if you were to dump a cup on it. I have a diva cup in my butt.
Cute.
Yeah, when I eat like spicy food or whatever, I put a diva cup in the butt, and then I sprinkle it on the tree.
All right, well, let's take some calls.
No. Let's do more of my... last week we ended our little riff sesh with the queef cork. This week, it's the butt cup. Okay, fine. We can take a call. But Tosh, listen, I overreacted to, it was funny because I was thinking to myself in our fight last week, I should just stop engaging, and I just couldn't do it. Every time, that's a problem I have. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This is an unproductive conversation. I should just say, well, let's talk about this another time and try to change the subject, but I just couldn't do it. So for that, I am sorry.
I accept your apology.
And next time, ask. Let's take a call. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know how the only way for you to get to sleep at night is to make love to me 4 to 5 times?
Don't say that on air.
Well, I have to, because as a result of trying to cure you of your sleep issues, I'm having sleep issues of my own, which is why I downloaded Calm,
the #1 app for sleep and relaxation. It can really transform your nights, which means better days.
Check out Sleep Stories, which are like bedtime stories for adults. They can help you fall into a deep, natural sleep in minutes. Stories are narrated by iconic voices like LeVar Burton and Nick Offerman.
There's also other content like soothing music from artists like Sam Smith. That's right, Sam Smith will send you to sleep.
I knew there was a purpose for his music.
Yeah, guided meditations, breathing exercises, and a lot more. Over 60 million people use Calm. Join them today and get the sleep you need tonight.
For listeners of the show, Calm is offering a special limited time promotion of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/honeymoon.
That's 40% off unlimited access to Calm's entire library, and new content is added every week.
Get started today at calm.com/honeymoon. That's calm.com/honeymoon.
When I was a kid, I was completely unloved. And as a result, all I ever got for Christmas or my birthday was socks and underwear and the occasional vacuum liner bag. And it used to make me feel really bad. But nowadays, that's all I want. As I've gotten older, I realize that the primary pleasure in life is a nice pair of underwear. Well, MeUndies is here to send you that pair, and socks too. And if you're wondering what you should get your special someone for Valentine's Day, guess what, folks? They've got special Valentine's Day prints this year. Not one, but 3 different kinds of Valentine's drawers. This is the perfect opportunity to show that special someone you're ready to take it to the next level by buying matching pairs of Valentine's underwear, putting them on your lover, then taking them off and making sweet love. So, MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, you'll get 15% off and free shipping. Total no-brainer because they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you try these on and you don't love them, you can send them back with your ball funk on them and they'll give you your money back. Now that's a deal. To get your 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/honeymoon. That's MeUndies.com/honeymoon.
Now we're going to call Christina in Texas.
Hello?
Christina?
Yes.
In Texas?
Yes.
Oh my God, Christina, it's Moshe Kasher.
And Natasha Leggero.
I never thought this would happen. I'm so excited.
Well, dreams do come true, Texas.
They say never meet your heroes, so I hope you don't disappoint.
Well, you're not meeting us, so don't worry about it. They never mention never podcast with your heroes. Well, let's talk about why we're your heroes. What is it about us? No, let's not do that. Christina, tell us why you called today.
Okay, well, I have a psycho roommate and I need advice.
I don't like this.
I had one.
Oh.
What's going on?
So we met through like our boyfriends and we always used to like go out together and do homework together. And I thought, we have fun. She's determined in school, so it would be like a good match. And I'm like never home anyway because I work so much. And so we go on this trip together over our summer break, and we are already living with each other at this point. And we're getting ready together, and I see that she has this brand of hair stuff that I use. And I was like, oh, I use that same brand. And she goes, oh, it's yours. So...
I mean, that's a little abnormal, but not that crazy.
Okay, yeah. We're not in psycho territory yet. She's like, oh, it's yours.
She's like, I just was raised sharing everything.
Right. She's like, oh, it's yours. And it also has some of your hair that I clipped off in the night.
Exactly. But so I have this camera that we put in our living room because we get a lot of break-ins. As soon as we get back...
Wait, how many break-ins do you get?
Hold on. What do you mean that you get a lot of break-ins?
Our neighborhood gets a lot of break-ins. Like, while you're sleeping in your house, people come in if you don't lock the door.
Okay. Have you ever...
That sounds terrifying. I'd want a roommate, too. Better if she's a psycho.
Right. She could scare them off. She's like, you think you're crazy, bitch? I'm crazy. I got this roommate of mine's period blood in this shampoo bottle.
But then I just got several videos of her going through my things and taking them without asking. And I've asked her before, if you want something, just ask. Well, over Christmas break, holiday break.
Thank you. Gee, I know you're from Texas, but don't be a fucking bigot.
she texts me to ask if she can use something. And I'm like, wow, that's so weird that she actually asked. And then I realized she asked because she already broke it.
What was it?
A $300 microdermabrasion machine.
Oh, man. I hate it when I break my microdermabrasion machine.
Yeah.
So has she done anything else that warrants, the category of psycho?
Yeah, besides just
Yes.
borrowing things without asking? Oh, yes. Go ahead.
She got a dog and didn't ask or tell me about it until the night before. She never asked, just told me the night before.
That is so funny that you mentioned that, because when you said psycho roommate, I remembered that I had a friend. She's not a psycho. She's my friend to this day, but she was a tough roommate to have. This person that was living with me, and she was working at a pound, and she's like, hey, do you mind if I get this cat? I was the leaseholder. It was my house, and she moved in. And she goes, do you mind if I get this cat? It's got feline HIV. And I was like, yeah.
Yes, I mind.
Yeah, I was like, exactly. I'm like, yeah, no, you can't bring the AIDS cat home. Like, that's like, there's no pets on the lease. No. And I came home the next day and the cat was there. So this woman did a little bit of a spin on it, which is that she asked, I said no, and then the cat was there. And that night, which is what I think I'm probably going to tell you to do, that night, I said, you have 30 days to move out. What was your psycho roommate situation, Natasha?
I had a woman who I think maybe ended up being in love with me. Like she had like a crazy stalker she was always talking about, or a crazy ex-boyfriend. And then I realized, oh, she's stalking this guy. And then she would like come home, and then I had a boyfriend, and she would like knock on our door at like Sunday morning at 8 a.m. and be like, hi, I'm coming in bed. And then she would like come inside the shower like naked, like I'm coming in. And then like she would like, then all of a sudden one day I remember she like threw a vase at me when I was walking down the steps, and she's like, you don't contribute to our house as a home. And I was like,
That's how she is.
Wait, no. All you've described is a person that used your microdermabrasion thing.
but then this
No,
woman.
This is the buildup.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
So then I realized, oh, this woman I think is in love with me and unstable, and she's stalking her ex-boyfriend, and it's all she talks about, and she's really dynamic and funny and interesting. So I like listen to her, and she like gets my attention, but then at the same time she like doesn't have boundaries. And like, oh, I remember one time I had a boyfriend over, and she like was in like an Oxford shirt, and she just like had no underwear on underneath, and she just like lifted her leg up and like flashed her pussy, Like that's a
Classy.
lot.
I
But
love it.
yeah, it's just so I was like, oh, this is someone, but I was young, so I hadn't ever met anyone like that, because I was in New York.
And
so I think that
Well, I want to hear the rest before
Yeah.
I give her the advice. But I do want to tell you, Christina, that pussy that she flashed also had feline HIV. Okay, so you were building up to telling us the crescendo. What happened?
Yes. I am not a betting person, but I would bet that she has never opened a door without slamming it. Like, she wakes up every day just finding she's not happy unless she's angry at somebody else.
Uh-huh.
And she has so much passive aggression towards me. And so she calls me one day angry that my camera was in my room because she went in there. And, like, I told her I was done with her pettiness and I'm done with her passive aggressiveness, and I was putting my foot down. I was like, don't speak to me like this anymore. Now we haven't spoken in a week. We have very thin walls and our doors are right beside each other. So last
she's
night
probably
I go
listening.
into her room.
Is she listening to this right now as you record this call?
God, no, I'm in my car.
Okay.
I go into her room last night and I said, so are we going to talk about this like adults, or are you going to ignore me until we move out? And she said, I'd rather not talk about it right now. So she like keeps taking my things out of the washer, like mid-washer, and just leaving them on the floor. And like, it's just all of these things, and I don't know what to do.
here's the thing, it's going to get worse. So you just need to like find a way, if it's your place, to give her month's notice, or if it's her place, get out like now.
Yeah, who's the
Because-
We
leaseholder?
share.
You share what?
Nobody is the leaseholder. We basically lease out our rooms.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, like, she has a lease with this like neighborhood company, and I also have a lease.
With the same neighborhood company?
Yes.
Oh, well, this is very
Because we
simple.
live in the same building.
This is very simple how to solve this. All you have to do is wait till very late at night, till you're sure she's sleeping. Sneak in there with a large knife and end her life. No, here's what you do. You call the neighborhood company. You say, I'm living with an unstable thief. I need out of my lease. I don't know what you want. Whatever you need to do with her is what you need to do with her. You get out of the lease, your side of the lease, and you tell them that you fear for your personal safety, and you never talk to her again, and you don't leave any forwarding information, and that relationship is over. I mean, it's very obvious.
What if for some reason the people that she sends that letter to show the girl, or the girl sees it or something? Is that possible? And then she becomes more psycho?
Sure, that is possible, but there's no way out of this without getting out of the apartment, right? I mean, what do you think?
You just
Christina?
don't want to be around someone like that.
Yeah, what do you think? What's your best idea?
I've done nothing wrong, so like I'm sick and tired of apologizing, and like I don't want to back out, if that makes sense, but also I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Oh, you don't want to be the one that lost by leaving the apartment?
Right.
Well, there's an old saying, Christina. Would you rather be happy or right? Because you can only choose one in this situation.
I think you're right.
Well, that's music to my ears. It's my favorite
So
phrase.
does he. That's so weird.
What do you think, Natasha?
I mean, I don't really understand two people living in an apartment and having two separate leases. I've never heard of that, so I don't really understand.
That's some Texas shit. They've had 6 flags flying over that state.
It's
their
like you
rules
guys
are different.
What's the common room? Do you guys have to share a bathroom?
No, we just share the living room and the kitchen and the washing machine.
You share the living room, the kitchen, the washing machine, and all of your belongings.
Yeah, apparently.
Those are communal. I mean, the whole idea that I understand that instinct.
Have you ever heard of that though, where there's two different leases?
No, but Jewish though I am, I'm not an expert in real estate law. Like, I don't know. There's two different issues here. One is that you want to be. You don't want to back down, which I relate to. You're like, she's the one that did the wrong thing, so why should you be the one to find the new apartment?
All right, here's what I think.
Right.
I just figured it out. The lease thing, she owns the house. Just imagine she owns the house. Get out. How do you get out of this?
In fact,
Just get out of it. Like, call them. You don't have to say she's psychotic. Say, hi, I need to get out of my lease immediately. Please, what's the easiest way?
Right.
You know, I don't want to make this a bigger issue than it has to, but please, I'd like to be, this is my 30 days.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, just leave.
Okay.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Find another cool place.
Yeah, because like
Battle her for 2 years. Who cares? Like,
Right.
your life is too short.
be miserable in your living situation rather than back down. It doesn't make any sense. You got to get out of there because Natasha said it correctly. It's going to get way worse. It's not going to get better. You guys are in like a little weird war right now.
She's like fantasizing about you and your life, and she seems slightly obsessed with you.
The other thing is crazy always wins because they don't play by the rules. So you're like, well, I
You don't
should.
share reality.
I feel like I'm going crazy. Like I am normally very calm, cool, and collected. And the more passive aggressive she's been, like she got back from break and her car was filled to the brim with things. And she didn't talk to me because I didn't help her unpack her car. And I had to go to work.
Well, I mean, you keep trying to apply your logical rules to her illogical world.
You don't share reality.
Right. You guys are living in two different realities. And here's what's going to happen. Either she's going to go really crazy or she's going to make you snap and you're going to join her reality and you're going to go crazy. Both terrible
I might
options.
throat punch her.
No, I wouldn't throat punch her. Then you're like, well, I didn't admit, I never backed down and didn't admit that I never said I was wrong, but I am in jail. So what's the point?
You know, the last time I saw my crazy roommate, I was walking down, like we had like a walk up on the Upper East Side, and I was walking down with my boyfriend with my final thing of furniture, and she like had a coffee mug, and she pretended to throw it at me, and she was like, "Ha ha, gotcha." I'm just saying, like she was like losing her mind.
Right, and that's
This girl seems crazy. Like,
how old are you?
I'm 21.
So you're 21, so you're young. This is one thing that I have noticed in my time on Earth. The people who are young and seem a little off, they often don't correct by the time they're 25. They get much, much worse. So young, weird becomes old, completely insane. Get out while you still have your body and your things intact, because what will happen is you'll keep pushing. You'll be like, why should I back down? I did nothing wrong. And you will come home and your stuff will be on fire and she'll attack you, or there'll be a fucking axe in your bunny. Get out while you can. Thank God you have two different leases.
Okay.
That's what we think.
I think that's what I'm going to have to do.
As your heroes, did we do the job?
I think you did.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't get made fun of, so.
Oh, don't get us wrong. We think all of your life choices are a huge mess. we think you've done nothing right. We just don't think you're as bad as your roommate.
That's your 20s, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck out there. Get out of there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I will.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Natasha, what do you say we play some secrets?
Okay.
Hi. Something that no one knows about me is that probably about once a week, I use my boyfriend's beard trimmer to trim my pubic hair, and he has no idea. But it works really well, and yeah, it's great. Thanks for all you do. Bye.
Thanks for all you do.
do.
I would totally do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Really? Using someone else's beard trimmer to trim your pubic hair?
100%.
Well,
They should be so lucky.
Right, I guess it's a win-win. It's a win for everybody.
Would you really care?
No, I guess I wouldn't. He gets she gets to look at a nice coiffed beard, and he gets to look at a beautiful little triangle. Well, we support what you're doing. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for your service.
Hi, guys. So I love your show. This is my secret. It's a shared secret between me and my partner, so I don't know if it applies. But a few years back, people were stealing packages off of our porch, and in a fit of rage, my partner and I were talking about things we could do to them, and he came up with the idea of shitting in a box and leaving it for them on the porch, and he went to work the next day, and I thought it was a good idea on my day off to shit in a bag and put it in a box, and I'm a pretty healthy person, you know, so it was pretty gross, and the whole house stunk, and so I put it in a box and wrapped it all up and put it on the porch, and I sent my partner a text and said it's on the porch. And he thought, you know, this is just an idea. We were just talking. Why did you do that? You know, I'm a working professional, so I felt like it was a little out of my character, but I've also, you know, been kind of impulsive, so he told me to throw it in the trash, and we made a deal that whenever he comes up with an idea, because I will put it into action because I get shit done,
Literally.
he has to tell me that it's just an idea and not to do anything. So that's our shared secret. I shit in a bag, put it in a box. We should have left it for the mail thieves. That's my opinion, but he was afraid that they would just slap it back on our door. Have a great day.
By the way, first of all, he's right. That would have been a dumb thing to do.
I'm not with you. I wish they left it. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, but then ultimately your house would get targeted even more.
That would
suck.
What I was more curious about was, what is this woman's idea of what healthy is? She's like, I'm a pretty healthy person. So it was a mountain of caca that smelled like pure poisonous gas. It was, I would say, the most noxious fumes of all time because, you know, health.
And also her husband's like, hey, when we have ideas, let's not put them into action.
I know it's a funny idea that they're musing about their ultimate revenge fantasy. And she's like, bye, honey. I thought this is what you wanted. Oh man, I wish they had left it for the thief. But good on you for not getting attacked by a package thief.
Moshe, can't you admit there's something to not wanting to target your house? Is like they would be
fair.
So mad that they opened that and found like diarrhea.
It is
that they really would smear it on your house. They know where it came from.
Well, or
it's not a great plan.
Yeah, and they are criminals, and that's fair.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility. Okay, hear me out. They get the package, they bring it home, they open it, they're like, ew, doo-doo. They open it all the way, they smell it, and they go, oh my goodness, this is one healthy lady. Maybe she's too physically intimidating and imposing for us to attack. We'll leave her be. Maybe they could tell.
I think they would be really mad.
Yeah.
And I think they're very immature.
Package thieves?
Yes.
I think they're immature.
Maybe.
Okay.
I just think someone would get revenge on. I would talk you out of it, is what I'm trying to say, because I could totally see you.
I wouldn't shit
wanting
in a box.
No, you wouldn't do that, but I could see you wanting to do something like that, where I'm like, this could backfire.
Have I ever told the story of the van out front on this podcast?
No.
No? There was a van parked out front in our neighborhood, and it was there. It was like a kind of hippie camping van, and it was there for quite a while. And after about 2 weeks, I gave him 2 weeks, I put a note on the van that said, hey, time to move along. And I get a note back on the van in front of my house. He put a note on his own van going, "Hey man," I assume he said it like this, "Hey man, I'm house sitting in the neighborhood. Relax." Right? And I go, "Relax, huh? Okay, I'll relax, motherfucker." So here's what I did. I drove to the closest police station, and I walked inside, cool as a cucumber, and I was like, "Oh hey, what's the name of our local beat cop in this neighborhood?" And they were like, "Oh, that'd be Officer Claw 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 Claw." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Hey, do you have one of his business cards by any chance, just in case I need it?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And they gave me the business card. And I drove back to my house. By the way, this is like 3 miles away. I drove back to my house, and with Natasha's help, I wrote a note on the back of the police beat cop's business card in what I assumed was like cop writing. I don't know why I thought they write different, but it was like more block letter. And it said, "PLZ, please move vehicle." And I put that under the windshield. And guess what? Next day, no more van. And I was so proud of myself because I was like thinking to myself, there is no way this fucking fish head, this like, Dead and Company traveler could imagine a man so petty as me to get in my car and drive all the way to the police station just to get a business card. And about a month later, I saw the van again in a totally different neighborhood, and I was pleased.
Hi, Natasha. Hi, Moshe. So my secret is that every time my sister is exceptionally mean to me, I key her car a little bit more. So they're like tally marks of hate. For reference, her car is like a 2017 Mazda, and mine is a 1991 Acura. It just feels good. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Jesus Christ. Have you not heard of talking to your sister?
It makes me feel less guilty about not giving our child a sibling.
Well, because it could be a keying situation. Oh, man. I will say, a Mazda isn't like a great car. It's a good car. But I do get particularly angry when I get cut. Today, I let someone in like a 2019 BMW. I let someone in traffic, and he didn't say thank you. And I just was like filled with rage. It was like, just fucking say thank you. Why is it always the luxury vehicles that have the most inconsiderate drivers?
I wouldn't focus on that because I think that probably everyone's pretty inconsiderate.
Actually, Natasha?
I know there's a study.
Well, there's a study. Have I talked about it on here before?
No,
There's a scientific study that they did at UC Berkeley where they dressed up a guy like a UC Berkeley student, and he would cross in the crosswalk as traffic was coming, and they would observe which cars would stop. And almost like, I would say, like by a large margin, the people that wouldn't stop would be people in $80,000 cars, really fancy cars.
Right.
They really drive worse. Stop keying your sister's car. Talk to her. That's your sister.
Yeah, get past it.
Yeah, I don't like this one. I like you, but I don't like this.
Okay, good luck.
Let's do one more.
So my dad's a pretty terrible person with a long history of domestic violence, and my mother finally broke out of that and left him, and so I don't have to see him again or deal with him ever again. And I do wish him the worst, and I hope that the worst things happen to him, but I'm not willing to contribute a lot of energy into making those things happen. So what I've decided to do is anytime a opportunity on a website to put your phone number in, and it says it's required, and it's annoying because you're never going to sell your number and you're going to have like a million sales calls. I just always put his phone number in, and sometimes I just randomly call businesses and say like, "Oh yeah, my name is," and give the number 828-371. Call him and tell him he's a terrible person. Yeah, it's been kind of fun. It's pretty satisfying. Have a good one.
I don't know if that's legal.
Wait, here's what I love about this. Because like hearing her talk at first, I was like, okay, absolutely, she needs to get over this. But then like towards the end, I'm like, it makes her feel good. She should do it.
And it's also like, I loved the juxtaposition between the severity of his crimes and the pettiness of her revenge.
But it makes her feel good. But at the same time, it's like, I understand that. If you have someone who is abusive in your family and you're close with someone else and you feel good about things, it's like now, like, why you don't want to revisit it. So it's not like she needs to like come to contact him and get into it and discuss it and talk about their childhood. She might not want that.
Right.
And so it just feels good to just write it off.
What do they say? The best revenge is a life well lived or something like that? Like, you do want to get to the point where you don't, the best revenge is where you don't think about him at all, where he's like out of your your consciousness. He doesn't occupy any of your psychic space. But in the meantime, I do like the idea that you're like, my dad is a ritual, serial, domestic abuser and an evil human being. And so to get back at him, I've given him a little bit of spam phone calls to deal with. There is something cool about that. I'm glad that your father is out of your life, and I think we both hope for the day where you don't even care enough anymore.
Yes, exactly. If you're getting too amped by the whole situation, you could like put it to rest for good. Give it to one last thing and do a ceremony and say it's over.
Well, we do have almost 5 million listeners to this podcast, and you just gave them all the phone number. Is it 10 million or 5 million this week? It's a lot. So if you're out there, there's a hearty F you to you, and maybe we should have beeped it. I don't know if that was legal. Are we going to beep it? Our producer is nodding yes. So once again, you can fuck yourself, you piece of shit with the initials. Eat a big dick.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah?
You know, I've been thinking about taking a multivitamin recently, so I decided to give it a shot. Walked into our bathroom, opened up our cabinet, grabbed a pill bottle at random, and swallowed all of them. Guess what?
What?
Viagra. Rough weekend for me.
Yeah, rough weekend for me too. Ow.
Lucky weekend. Well, you could take a multivitamin. Thanks to Kat Schneider and her team at Ritual, there's a brand new multivitamin just for women.
Ritual is designed to be gentle on an empty stomach. That's one of my problems with vitamins is because I don't eat enough breakfast. I take them in the morning and then my stomach hurts.
Well, they're obsessively researched and clinically backed. Ritual's clinical study of Essential for Women, which is the name of their vitamin, showed an increase in vitamin D levels and omega-3 DHA levels.
Daily changes can lead to big results, so start small today. Ritual is offering our listeners 10% off your first 3 months.
You can try it out, satisfaction guaranteed, by going to ritual.com/honeymoon, and you can start Ritual today.
That's 10% off during your first 3 months at ritual.com/honeymoon.
If you're a woman and you've been looking for a multivitamin, Ritual is the one for you. It's the one for you.
Okay, we're going to call John from Portland, Oregon. Hello?
Hello?
John?
No.
Is John around? Oh, Christina. Why are we calling
Sorry.
Christina again? Hey, Christina,
Sorry.
we were just calling you
totally
back.
fine.
No, listen, we've never had any technical difficulties on this podcast, and this is not one. We were calling back to make sure that you were, in fact, going to break your lease.
Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, what do you think of our advice?
I actually think I'm going to do it.
Hell yeah.
Good.
Listen,
There's never a good time to do a bad thing. Be strong. Just do it.
And also, Christina, we can't talk right now. We honestly have to go. So you're being you're being a little extra, trying to like get some more time on the phone with us. So bye. That was funny, actually. I didn't know because I was like, it's Portland. There's a lot of trans people. I honestly, when you started laughing, I was like, I thought it might have been someone named John.
Hello?
John.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Well,
Pretty
I'm
good.
bad. Oh, we're good.
Oh, bad.
No, we're not great. We're having some problems.
You're having some problems. Well, maybe I can help.
Okay, listen, the reason we called, John. Well, actually, you know what would really help, John?
What's that?
If you could distract us from our problems with a problem of your very own.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I could help with that.
Great. Why'd you call? Why'd you contact us?
So, first off, big fan of both of you guys.
Thank you.
R.I.P. the champs.
Thank you. Yes. May it rest in peace.
Yeah. Fuck Neil. He'll never listen to this.
Hey, I agree with half of what you said. He won't listen to this. That's
No,
for
I love
sure.
Neil. Genius.
He definitely
hey.
does not listen to my podcast, though.
So I'm a married man of 35, and my wife and I have been together for 11 years.
Got married young.
And yeah, and basically I'm worried that we are not sexually compatible anymore.
What has changed, and what do you mean anymore?
Frequency, and also just we just enjoy sex, different types of sex, and I think she maybe has got less interested in pretending to enjoy the way I like to have sex, maybe.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
How do you like to have sex?
I guess I'm probably less romantic about it. I think if it was up to her, every time we had sex, we would be having missionary sex, gazing into each other's eyes and climaxing together.
With rose petals spread all over the hotel bed.
So she's a bit of a hack, you're saying.
And how would you?
Yeah.
What? How would you have it?
Oh, I'm punching her in the back of the head, shitting on my own legs.
No, not into any kind of violent or any sort of nothing crazy. I enjoy sex from behind, I guess, is the.
So you want to fuck her doggy style and just kind of get it over with every night? How many nights a week do you want to do that?
At least a couple nights a week would be great.
Okay.
Like 2?
Yeah, 2, and that, I feel like that was kind of our frequency, and in the last couple of years, it's kind of been more like once every couple weeks.
Do you guys have kids?
Yeah, so that obviously is a big wrinkle in all this. We have a 9-year-old girl, and we're actually in the process of adopting a 7-year-old boy.
Well, I think you guys should get a divorce. No, I'm just kidding. Wait for the adoption to be finalized, then get the divorce.
You're in the process of adopting a 7-year-old? That sounds fascinating and amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, we just and that kind of goes back. So there's so much to this story, I guess.
We got time, but I just want to jump in and say nothing spices up the old sex life like a 7-year-old adoptee.
Right.
Where is he from? Or she?
With attachment issues. Oh no, he's from just down the road where we live. I mean, this is a foster to adopt situation.
Got it. Well, you guys are good people. So wait, is there more that you want to tell us? Because I have some thoughts already, but I want to know. Tell us more.
So one of the we split up for about 5 months when we were 7 years in, because I got a vasectomy. I was kind of done having biological children, and she said that she wanted me to get the vasectomy, but then has since told me that it was a terrible mistake. Then so she kind of was ready to have a second child, and I wasn't quite ready yet, and so I was like, well, maybe I should just get a vasectomy, and she said go ahead, and I just did it, and I don't think she thought I would.
We recently heard another story about a partner that suggested something, the other person followed through with it, and it was a bad idea. But that was shitting in a box, so that doesn't really apply to your situation. So, so go ahead.
So now she's gotten her way. She's getting another child.
Well, and that was always kind of my idea that I finally got her to come on board with. I always thought that we would adopt if we didn't have another biological child. So that was kind of my whole idea, and I finally got her to come around after the vasectomy and told her I wasn't going to get it reversed and all that stuff. So, and so we split up for a little while. We saw different people, and then we got back together, and then it's been good ever since. But lately it's just I don't know if it's just the stress. I work a lot. She's at home, and it's just maybe I'm just being unrealistic about my expectations.
And your expectations are what? Doggy style?
Doggy style twice a week.
On occasion, yes.
I mean, my thought here is like There's layers to what you're saying. You guys are obviously decent people, and are you?
Wait, I have a few more. I have a few more follow-ups.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Natasha.
I just want to know, what's your name again?
John.
That's all I wanted
John.
to know. No, John. How's the relationship other than the sex? Like, are you guys like excited about adopting this kid? Does everything feel good and positive? Is there energy? Is there fun? Do you have a good relationship with your kid? What's the general vibe minus the sex?
It's good. I mean, we're definitely excited about adopting the kid, but he's got some issues that we're having to work through with him, and it's a whole new dynamic. I mean, both him and our daughter were used to being only children, and now they have to have a sibling, and both have mixed feelings about that. And then he has trauma in his past that he's dealing with, and it rears its ugly head in all sorts of fun ways.
So you guys are like diving into this like really big thing together, and it's like exciting but also challenging.
But can I just point something out, John?
Sure.
I mean, even though I am only a comedian, I think I've been pretty funny up until this point. So I feel like it's time for me to switch gears. Natasha just asked you how your relationship was. Other than the sex life, and you said really good. He's a good boy. He's got some attachment issues. We're working through that. It's like, you avoided that question probably subconsciously, but she was asking like, other than the sex life issues that you guys are having, is your relationship fulfilling and fun and loving?
I must have misheard you or subconsciously blocked it out, but no, I love my wife. She's a wonderful person. She also has trauma in her past and some some stuff that she has dealt with, and we we've been together for a long time. It's stuff sometimes just builds up and gets on your nerves, and then you fight about it.
Yeah, no, I that's what I'm getting from you too. I was getting that. I'm really grateful to hear you say that you guys still have love in your relationship, because like it's from a
and that's a long time a lot of people don't have 10-year relationship. How many years? 10?
11 married, 12 together. It was a very fast courtship too, and when it happened, my family was kind of freaked out because I never really had a serious girlfriend before I got married. So
welcome to the never had a serious girlfriend before you got married club. Or I guess you're the president. I'm merely a new member. But
yeah, welcome.
But what I'm hearing as a stranger listening to this is that you and your wife have love for each other. I mean, I can't talk to her, so I don't know her story. But you have love for your wife. There's love in the relationship. You guys are good people, obviously. You're willing to take on a really big relationship, family challenge.
A lot of people wouldn't do something like that.
A lot of people wouldn't be able to do it. I know sometimes parents who adopt are tired of hearing what heroes they are, but like, so we'll not go there. But what you're doing is certainly it's a big chunk that you're biting off emotionally and spiritually. It's a bigger chunk than adopting an infant. Even you're adopting a person with a developed personality, and a lot of people just would be too scared to do that.
It's definitely going to take a lot of time.
Yeah,
it's basically,
So you guys have this thing. You've got this firmament. You've got this 11-year thing. This love that you've developed. But like the primary thing that I was hearing was that your wife doesn't like sex the way you posed it. I don't even know if you said this, but the way you posed it is like your wife doesn't like sex the way you like it. You like it hard and raw and crazy, and like that was the vibe I was getting from you. Like I like it more porno style, and she likes it more gazing and like romance novel style. And then what you described was doggy style. It's like that is not high enough on the freak ladder for this to really be about your sexual predilections. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way that what you're asking for is so crazy and out of the box that she just can't answer the doorbell when you ring for doggy, because it's like doggy style ain't that crazy, right? I mean, right?
And it's not even that she won't do it. It's that I guess I would hope that she would be more into it, and I can tell when she's not into it, and that bothers me and doesn't, and it makes it harder for me to feel fulfilled, I guess.
Does she care if you watch porn?
Yes.
She doesn't like you to do that.
Porn.
Well, I guess.
Well, then, I mean, she needs to get over that.
All right,
does.
good. She needs to get over
You
it.
can't be like, you can't listen to porn and then you only want to fuck, every fortnight.
Well, once a fortnight. Yeah, is it decreasing, by the way?
The frequency of sex.
Yeah, I know that you said it has decreased, but is it steadily decreasing? Does it feel like it's getting longer and longer between?
It is. Well, it is when she finds out that I've been watching porn, and then she gets mad and kind of withholds from me.
Right.
Basically says you have some issues that you need to deal with, and I'll be, I'll until you deal with those, then I don't want to touch you, kind of deal.
Well, John, again, we're not licensed professionals. We mostly just like to grab onto things that people say and make fun of them in a way that's fun for everybody. But
Right.
But what I'm hearing very clearly, well, I have two questions. First of all, you guys are doing a lot of work with this kid. I assume that you're doing a lot of like counseling and stuff like that to get the kid ready to join your family.
Are you guys Christian?
She is. I would call myself agnostic, but I will go to church with her out of,
So she has like a very strong moral kind of compass, and
But that's not what this. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. That's what this is about.
they don't share. Okay,
Well, what were you going to say?
no, go ahead.
Well, I'm not getting that this is like a moral issue because it's like
They fight about it all the time. It seems like the porn.
right, but you're like husband and wife, right? I mean, it's like this couldn't be. The porn thing is a separate thing to me. What I'm asking is, you guys have been doing a lot of. I'm right in saying that you guys have been going to counseling to get this kid ready to join your family, right? Like he's in counseling. You guys are working with someone. Is that right?
Correct. I mean, there's all sorts of people involved in that system.
Totally. So you guys already have a therapeutic situation in your family unit. Do you and your wife separately from all of this go to a couples counselor to talk about your issues as they do not relate to your children?
We have, and it's the first time we went, the woman started seeing my wife individually, which struck me as odd.
Yeah.
And then our couple sessions kind of got a bit strange, and we had
That's a conflict
sort
of interest, I think.
I kind of felt that way too. But yeah, so we eventually, I forget what happened, but we stopped going to see her. And then we saw another woman, and I think we went to one session, and my wife felt like we were ganging up on her, and we never went back.
Because they weren't like her personal therapist.
Well, that's interesting because it's like both of you guys went to couples counseling twice. One time the therapist was too, this is like Jack Sprat and his wife are the Three Bears. One time
The Three Bears, yeah.
the therapist was too much on your wife's side. The other time the therapist was too much on your side. And the response to those two things was to never go to therapy again. It feels like if you had just gone one more time, you would have found this perfect counselor who would have had an even keel. I mean, what I'm hearing very loudly from you, and Natasha, tell me what you think. I'm hearing very loudly that you guys are deeply invested in your family and in the kind of work, the hard work that it takes to create and build a family. You guys actually more than most families, because you have to have like the state and the foster care department and the child protective services and this
weekly visits.
Yes. So you guys are like all in on the therapeutic stuff that has to do with like the family. You go into vasectomies. You're getting a vasectomy. It's all like about like the family unit, the kids, kids family. And in the meantime, while you guys have been dealing with this like loud family stuff, you guys have allowed your marriage to atrophy due to not watering that garden. That garden is dried up because all you've been doing is focusing on the parts of your life that are not the garden.
It's exactly what you said, Moshe, too. Like I asked him about his relationship, and he just talked about his son, the child they're adopting.
I maybe you didn't hear us, but it feels like that felt like
so. It sounds like they need to add more.
Symbolic.
Yeah, and they need to just have a little bit more romance.
You need to add.
Got to go away every 3 weeks.
Yeah, add
together as a couple.
Add some water to that garden. That's what is clear to me. I think it's time to find another counselor, because like you guys are at an impasse, right? You want more sex, she won't give it to you. You then turn to porn, she forbids it from you. What is the option? Your options are to go to counseling and figure out how to get your sex life revitalized and pay more attention to it, or for you to continue to look at porn and betray her, or worse.
But the real truth is porn is okay, and she needs to get over it.
I do agree.
And if she can never get over that, that would be very challenging, I think, for a person who thinks that porn is okay.
What do you think, John? Do you feel guilty about porn?
I do now.
Yeah, I get that.
I never used to. But yeah, I mean, the way she's explained it to me, she does feel like it is an infidelity. I mean, that's how she feels about it, and I don't think there's any way that I can convince her otherwise. But I don't, and at the same time, I feel like, well, why should I even need it?
Well, the reason that you should need it is
you're not allowed to jerk off only once every 3 weeks.
I am, but and that's one of the things that I've thought about saying to her is, well, I could just masturbate thinking about your friends or other women in my life that aren't you.
Who does she want you to think about? The Lord?
Her. She wants me to think about her.
Oh, fascinating. I mean, listen.
She must be really hot.
She's very attractive. Yes.
This brings me to my final thought, which I think is my most profound thought. I mean so strong. I mean, what do you think when I say that? You have to go back to counseling. You can't, this is not my final thought. A person should not live a life with a romantic partner where they are being forced into sexual anorexia because the other person doesn't want to give them what they want. And at the same time, a partner shouldn't be forced to have sex that they don't enjoy because their partner has a higher sex drive than them. This is what we call an impasse. So the way to an impasse is not to just hope that it changes. The way to an impasse is to put some work into it. You guys have put a lot of work into your family unit, but less work into your love unit, and as a result, it's suffering. Do you agree that maybe it would be time to seek some help?
I do. I think you're probably right. One other thing I should add: she also insisted that none of the married couples we know are having oral sex.
What?
That's her assertion.
I thought you meant she needed your friends to abstain from oral sex. You're saying she's claiming that none of your friends engage in oral sex.
Correct.
So that she can get out of it.
Right, because I've said that, she said, well, what do you want? Because I told her I'm not fully satisfied, and I mentioned that, and she said, well, nobody we know is doing that. So, and I thought that was completely irrelevant.
What kind of sex does she like? So she just like, when you say she wants to stare in your eyes, like, does she put on music? Does she set the tone? Does she just wants to lay there? Like, what's the vibe?
Very well. We got. We got kids, so we're not putting on music.
Yeah, you want them to be able to hear it, right?
Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark.
Got a good rhythm.
Wait, hold on. She says that all of your friends don't have oral sex. Not only is that irrelevant, it's impossible that it's true unless you're friends with incredibly.
Apparently, everybody that she's talking to claims that they don't.
I mean, who are these people? They're all like church-going Christians? Is oral sex against Christianity? Do they not do that?
I don't know.
Well, I guess if sex is only supposed to be for procreation, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to, I mean...
Is that what your wife thinks?
No, she doesn't.
So you guys are kind of cool. Like, you kind of get her vibe, but at the same time, she's like a little, like, her parents are probably very religious and she's been brainwashed. Is that kind of the case?
Both her parents are dead. Her dad died when she was very young, and her mom died while she was pregnant with our daughter. So there's
were they religious?
To unpack there.
I mean,
her mom was very religious, but also more like spiritual, and she kind of jumped around all these different Christian faiths and grew up Catholic, but kind of drifted away from the Catholic Church.
I just don't think this is a religious issue. I think there's plenty of Christians out there with healthy sex lives. This is about...
She thinks porn is cheating on her.
I hear you.
That's
that
like,
is an
she's
issue.
She's got to get over that.
Well, the reality is eventually you will not be able to sustain this. This is not sustainable. This sex thing that you have going on. You're either going to go to counseling and find a way to make this better. You're going to continue to look at porn because it is not wrong for you to look at porn if you're not getting sexual fulfillment from your wife, in my opinion. But you're either going to continue to look at porn and get busted and self-flagellate again and again. After you self-flagellate, you're going to really self-flagellate again and again and again forever. Or you're going to start lying to your wife for years at a time. Or you're going to cheat on your wife. And those are the things that are going to happen. Something's going to change.
I have a question. Okay, and
Yeah.
I know you've been talking for a long time, but
This is just fascinating. We're enjoying it.
So, in therapy, have you ever mentioned that your wife thinks that looking at porn is cheating? Because I'm curious what a professional would say about that.
She's not alone in that. She's not the only woman on earth that thinks
But I'm
porn
wondering
is
what
cheating.
a professional would think. Like, have
I
therapists
don't-
agreed?
I don't know that we ever got to that.
Maybe you should talk about it in therapy, because it's like, if she is only giving it up once or twice a month and then not allowing you to look at porn and thinking it's actually cheating on her, and then she's like going to get emotional about that. I just don't understand. She kind of sounding like a little bit of a cock tease.
Oh, Natasha. but what I am hearing is a wife that doesn't want to give a person that doesn't want to give their partner sex often, who also doesn't want their partner to
Not just not look at it, but think it's cheating. That's like very emotional.
makes
Him feel guilty.
is setting themselves up for a big disappointment eventually. But here's my final thought. I know I said I was going to give you that 20 minutes ago. And Natasha, if you have one. Here's the real reality. Unless you want out of this relationship, which it does not seem like you do.
That poor adopted child.
Well, I was just going to say, you're adopting a child right now who has trauma and attachment issues. And you are saying to yourself, I am welcoming this boy into our family, warts and all. He will be loved and he will be cared for, despite the fact that he's got all of these issues that he brings into our family. And like it or not, John, you have married a person who also brought into your family attachment issues, trauma. You said that yourself. And just as this boy is adopted into your life, so too is this woman married into your life. And there's got to be a way to get through those relational issues that don't involve just accepting them. There's got to be a way through. That's what I think.
I think there is too, and I'm hoping we can find some common ground and a sex life that we're both happy with. I mean, that's obviously the goal. But
you have some evidence before you. You guys have tried to self-negotiate this without someone for 11 years, and it has netted you this. So you know for sure that won't work. The status quo as it is now you will never get what you want, and she will never get what she wants. And you've tried going to a therapist once, but that one was too hot. And you tried going to a therapist twice, but that one was too cold. So the next therapist that you guys go find, you should make a rule. This is my thought. That you both have to agree to the therapist. So you should go therapy shopping. You shouldn't just call a random therapist and then say, this is the person that we're going to go to counseling with. You should start asking around to people, and then you should do some phone interviews, and then both of you say, I like that person. I like that person. And then that's who you go to.
My final thought is, does she like doggy style?
No.
Does she put out, is she into it, or is she like, I don't want to do it that way?
I mean, I feel like maybe in the past she has been, but lately not at all.
Yes, something has changed, John, and you can't figure it out because you guys aren't communicating well about sex.
I think you guys need to go on a vacation.
Well, I don't think that would hurt. I don't think that.
Well,
would
did.
hurt.
We went on a trip to Europe for our 10-year anniversary, and it was great. We went about 6 months ago, and that was fantastic, and we had a great time. And
do you have lots of sex?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think something has changed, John, and you will not be able to get to the bottom of it because something unspoken has changed. And you're in this is triage time. This is time because this will ruin your relationship. I predict that if you don't get serious right now about making massive changes in the same way that you're serious about helping this little kid that's coming into your life, get serious about helping your sex life and your romantic life with your wife, because it requires that kind of triage. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. There's not really anything else to do at this point.
Well, so do it. That's great. Isn't that great? When there's nothing else to do but one thing, you have the answer right in front of you. And the answer is...
I hope she's on board.
Well, will you stay in touch and tell us?
I have one more thought.
Yes, Natasha.
Maybe don't adopt the kid.
No, Natasha. He needs a home.
I know, but it seems like they might break up in 2 years.
No, Natasha. No, I think you guys...
I honestly can't get past not having sex with your husband and telling him that porn is cheating on him.
It is pretty rough, John. I'm not going to lie. You're in a real bind. You're really stuck between a rock and a hard dick.
I mean, maybe just play her this podcast. She just needs to get over it. And you need to really...
she does not know I'm on this podcast.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't play her the podcast.
I don't think she would take it very well.
I'm telling you, you guys have to have a fucking emergency war council meeting. You got to go to the mattresses for this marriage, because it's closer to over than you think. You're going to get so frustrated. And by the way, my real prediction, if you don't go to therapy, the sex is going to get less and less frequent for sure, until it dries up altogether and you find yourself living in Wales or in the north of England or wherever and not having had sex with your wife in over a year.
And when you guys break up and you look for your next girlfriend, make sure to ask her if she thinks porn is cheating.
If she likes doggy style. Natasha's being really mean, John, but I care. Go to the mattresses.
Yeah, my wife mentioned something about me getting a girlfriend, but I'm pretty sure that was a trap.
I mean, that is hilarious. What if she was like, she's like, porn is cheating. And you're like, what about a mistress? She's like, that I'm actually cool with. I mean, listen, there are couples in the world where something changes for the woman or the man physiologically or psychologically, and they're like, I'm just not into sex anymore. But you can go fuck someone else, and they find a way to make that work. That's not the case that you're in right now. And I just feel like if you don't want this thing to slowly corrode until it dies, you have to start putting some chemo into it.
It's hard.
It is hard. I feel for you, John. I wish we could help more, but I think...
I don't even know what the first steps are.
The first steps are to talk to your wife in a serious way and say, I'm really concerned about our relationship. I'm really not getting what I want sexually, and I don't want to force you to give it to me because it only is good for me when you're into it. I can't find a way past those two things. You won't let me look at pornography because you think it's cheating. The only thing that I have to suggest is we have to see a counselor. This isn't a request. This is something that I need us to do.
But then also he could add like how in love with her he is and how attracted he is to her, just to kind of boost her confidence.
Right.
And then to also say, and I was thinking too, insert your favorite place that you guys like to get away to. Maybe we could go away to this place and alone before we adopt, baby Herkimer or whatever the kid's name is down the street. And just like try to like in because it seems like you're still into her. If you were like, I'm kind of over you want to fuck her. That's good.
That is good.
She should be excited.
You're right.
She should be so lucky.
Listen, no one thinks John is the culprit here, but it doesn't really matter who the culprit is because at the end of the day, you guys are a married couple, so her problems are your problems.
But you got to tell her what you're thinking.
If none of this works and she refuses outright to go to a counselor, the other possible solution would be to have a dinner party with your 5 best friend couples and at the middle of dinner say, so who here likes to fuck each other with your mouths? And just see if she's right.
Okay, we gotta go.
Yeah, we do have to go. I wish you the best of luck. Will you stay in touch and tell us how things shake out?
You can do it.
Yeah, so thank you.
Okay, good luck out there.
Bye.
Man, that was a rough one.
Well, it's just like, don't marry people who think that different things than you think, like in your core belief.
Yeah, but some people have trauma, you know, and you fall in love with someone and they have trauma and their sexual trauma becomes more, you know, acute as the years go by and you've married into them. I mean, what if he adopted this kid and they didn't share the same core beliefs? Should they divorce the adopted kid? No, they got to find a way through it. What if I started developing some kind of problem? What would you do? Where I would only fuck you in reverse cowgirl. Or you really wanted reverse cowgirl and I wouldn't ever give it to you because I thought it was wrong.
You'd only 69 me.
I would only 69 you because that's what my religion taught.
I'd probably be okay with that.
That's a rough one. I mean, listen, there's a part of me.
I just think there's something rude to it.
Yes,
where
it's
you're withholding, but
No.
you're like, you can't. What is she? And she's like, that seems very unreasonable to me to be a woman, a married woman, and think you can only masturbate and think of me.
You're right.
That's how I thought when I was like in 6th grade.
No, you're right. In this couple, the wife is being emotionally and sexually and physically withholding. But that's never the whole issue. That's always just the symptom. Something else is going on. And because they have so much weird other stuff happening in their family and in their past with therapy, they're not talking about what's really going on. So it's like, wait, why don't I get my doggy style? When in reality, the issue is, wait, what's happening with us romantically all together?
Right.
I'm so...
And you want your partner to be sensitive to your sex drive.
Of course.
Like I would be worried about you if I was like, I'm not going to have sex with you and you can't look at porn. Well, then
you wouldn't need to worry about me. I'd find a way. But Natasha, I'm grateful to you. And you know why?
Why?
You give me doggy anytime I want it. Any time of the day. 4 times a day.
When I converted to Judaism, that was one of the things they told me in the mikveh.
You have to accept. You must give your husband doggy. Natasha and I, when I want doggy, I don't even really. All I do is I just go and she turns right over because that is what love is. And guess what, Natasha?
What?
I love you.
I love you too.